right, rite of passage. We're teaching the 10-year-old to change the oil on a car, just as my dad taught me when I was probably about 10 years old. So here we are on the Mustang. We're showing, that's Mr. Dipstick. That's where you check the oil. If you want to come over here on this side, this is where the oil goes in, actually right there. And it has this breather tube on it as well, which kind of makes it difficult sometimes to get this off. So a lot of times I will need assistance getting this thing off. Oh, looks like it's going to be easy today. Okay, and tools of the trade down here. We got our oil, got our filter, got a funnel, oil filter wrench, place to put the oil, clean up stuff, all the usual stuff. I've always used ramps to get the car up. It's just easier for me, but some people prefer other stuff. Always chalk your wheel. Okay, so really only 3 steps to changing the oil, which is drain the old oil out, replace the filter, and then put new oil in. So here's your oil pan. It's always easy to identify because it's the big bulbous thing sitting right under the bottom of the engine. The filter can be in different places on different cars. On the older cars, it's actually up on top of the engine, but pretty much I think like anything early 60s or after, it's underneath. And there it is for the Mustang. Always good to know what size your drain plug is, so you can get that right on there and not strip it out. So I happen to know this is 13th, 16th. So you like that. And last time I do this, I try always not to over torque this, so it's easy to get. Right, look at that. All right, get our drain thing caught. So when it first comes out, it's gonna do a big stream right way over that way. So you want to make sure you're catching it, and then as it gets lower, it'll the stream will come lower. Oh, didn't quite get that loose enough to do by hand. Okay, there we go. The question is, how much are you going to get on your hand? So you do want to run the engine some before doing this, so it's not totally cold, but you also don't want it so hot because you're going to burn your face off. Thank you. We'll get this positioned here, and I'm not going to bother watching the whole drain process because this will probably take about 5 to 8 minutes. All right, got our plug back in, not too tight. So we've got some oil on there, so put your finger on there, go around that seal. Always put some oil on that seal, that rubber seal there. There you go. Can you see the filter? All right, got that going. I don't know why I had a sudden panic attack that after all these years, I'd somehow bought the wrong filter. I didn't think so. Man, like I say, they say you don't want to over torque these, so I just hand torque it. Of course, I'm sure some people's hands are stronger than others. I'm probably about in the middle. All right, there we go. Do our final wipe down, and that's all the oil out. All right, my dad always took his old filter, put it in the box with the new one, and seal that up to get rid of it for disposal. Okay. All right, I'm trying something new here. A lot of people, at least on the YouTubes, saying you should use diesel oil in the old cars for the zinc. I read in line, some people say no, you shouldn't because it doesn't have the anti-foaming agents. And make sure you have a lower viscosity. I generally run 10W40 in this car, so I think 15 to 40 will be fine. All right, only challenge here is this comes in gallon jugs instead of quart jugs. So this takes 5 quarts, which, using my lightning powers of calculation, means we'll have to have 1 quart from the next jug. You may have noticed I did not fill my oil filter. I know a lot of people say you should do that. I don't say it. I've never done it. I can't imagine that it running for 2 seconds with that oil filter empty is doing much harm. Let's see. So we want to go down to 3 quarts if there's 4 quarts in here. We'll check the level, of course, when we're done to make sure. Alright, take out our filter. We'll actually leave this on there just loose for now, in case I need to add more oil. Probably shouldn't, but just in case, save yourself some trouble. Okay, got our oil drain all set and ready to go to the auto store for proper disposal. All right, final step. Check your oil level. Make sure you got it right. You see on there, so it should be between here and here. A little bit too much. It's okay to be a little bit above the top line, but you don't want to be below the bottom line. You should check your oil about, well, on an old car, you should really check it. You can see right where we're at, we're right there. So we're a tiny bit over. That's okay. Alrighty. Here's our oil pressure, looking good. Final step, this is how my dad taught me to keep track of oil changes and such, is owner's manual. Obviously not the original one. Just write it on a sticky note there in the middle, or I should say right at the front. And that way we know exactly when and how many miles we changed. That's the way I do it. Here's our entry, May 24, 74,500 miles. So it gives you an idea, since the last time I changed it, which was 2 years ago, put just slightly less than 2,000. So I'm putting about 1,000 miles a year on this car. Not very much. In the old days when I lived in Florida, I probably put 4,000 or 5,000 miles a year on it.